Let me ask you though, Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. You only have to win 7, 10-9 rounds clear, and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes, never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
The bell hasn't even sounded, yet the air is already electric. No one's backing up. No one's ducking. Terence Crawford is standing dead center, eyes locked, ready to trade fire with Canelo Alvarez. Why call it a war? Because that's exactly what it felt like. Every tactical edge. Crawford owned it. He saw every punch before it left Canelo's gloves, reading the rhythm like a master conductor. His guard stayed iron tight, even while pivoting off the ropes, slipping out with a calm that screamed control. And the size difference. Practically invisible. What unfolded was nothing short of brilliance, a performance carved into boxing history. Crawford dreamed this fight, willed it into reality while critics scoffed and said, "No chance against the bigger man." Yet here we are. As StephenASmith thundered after the upset, this wasn't just another victory. It was a legacy-defining night where Crawford stole Canelo's spotlight and crowned himself the undisputed champion. But the shockwaves were only beginning.
What did you think? What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I loved the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was going to go. I didn't think the weight was going to be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record as saying I didn't think it was going to be a problem. But it stood to be seen. It needed to be seen. And I knew we would have known after the first, second, or third round. You feel what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo was respecting his jab and how Canelo was respecting his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was going to go. And I knew that Bud was only going to get stronger and get bolder and, you know, start to wear him down because Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in the later round.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax and saying that, Bud. I've been on wax and saying that for a couple of years now. I bet against Bud on Spence. I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease.
Right.
You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration.
Max Kellerman felt the tremor too. He called Crawford's triumph historic, a career-altering statement. Breaking it down with razor clarity, Max likened the challenge to leaping multiple weight classes to fight a predator built to maul you. That's the kind of gamble that can break even the boldest fighter, and yet Crawford walked in fearless. Kellerman reminded us that true warriors hunt the toughest opposition without flinching at size, speed, or raw power. 4 years, no one dared call out Bud, but Crawford flipped the script, chasing the danger others dodged. By embracing that storm and outclassing the bigger man, he proved he belongs among boxing's immortals. And still, the echoes of this fight kept spreading.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Money Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we'll hear from Canelo. We're going to hear from Crawford. And I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Money Mayweather, bet on Crawford and make some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals. So I don't expect anything different.
Shakur Stevenson's respect for Terence Crawford had always been clear, but after this earth-shaking win, his admiration turned almost reverent. Shakur revealed that Crawford not only fulfilled every pre-fight promise, he exposed the blueprint of greatness. From the earliest days of his own career, Stevenson dissected Crawford's footwork, mindset, and relentless discipline. Watching his idol dismantle Canelo confirmed what Shakur always believed: legendary nights are forged from years of relentless preparation. To him, Crawford isn't just a champion, he's a living mentor, the embodiment of excellence every rising fighter dreams to mirror. And with that victory, the standard for greatness climbed even higher.
Right now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number one.
StephenASmith leaned in, voice pulsing with respect. Terence Crawford didn't beg for an easier path, he charged straight into enemy territory. While other fighters might plead for Canelo Alvarez to drop to a safer weight, Crawford refused. 168 pounds. Canelo's house. No compromise. For him, this was never about comfort, it was about carving a legacy in stone. Stephen reminded everyone, Canelo remains an elite warrior, a champion stacked with belts across multiple divisions. Yet Crawford wanted that challenge, at that weight, and never blinked. It was a declaration to the world: greatness is earned only on the hardest stage. And the audacity of that decision still echoes.
But I know how you is. You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boss. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. I always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd. Nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Then came the stunning shift in public opinion, captured by analyst Aid Oladipo. Before fight night, critics sneered, too small, too old, no chance against a powerhouse like Canelo Alvarez. But after the bell, those same doubters scrambled to praise the man they'd written off. Aid underlined the truth. Crawford didn't just win, he conquered the impossible. Jumping weight classes, facing a dominant figure in Canelo, was no shortcut, it was a breathtaking gamble. By dismantling a bigger, stronger opponent, Crawford proved that greatness isn't about size or age. It's forged in unshakable skill and relentless will. And still, the conversation refused to settle.
TV right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
my
two,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night? And if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because, imagine, so I cannot think in that way. But I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, Champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Finally, the Wade concept delivered a reality check to anyone dismissing Canelo's loss as simple decline. He pointed out the twist. Crawford is actually older than Canelo. Age. No excuse. Canelo entered with the natural advantages, weight, power, a division he'd ruled. Yet he was outclassed. Wade made it clear, this wasn't about Canelo slipping, it was about Crawford ascending to an entirely new level. By tearing down every easy explanation, Wade left only one truth standing. Crawford's victory was pure, historic, and undeniable. And with that, the legend of Terence "Bud" Crawford only grew more unshakable.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something great.
Carl Froch, the battle-tested former world champion, broke down the moment everything tilted. By the 6th and 7th rounds, Terence Crawford sensed it. The fight was ripe for the taking. Froch described how Crawford's jab became a surgical weapon, slicing through Canelo's rhythm and shoving the Mexican star onto his back foot. This wasn't reckless aggression, it was chess in motion. Crawford's timing to shift gears was flawless. Instead of letting the bout drift into Canelo's comfort zone, he claimed the center of the ring and dictated every exchange. And from that pivot, the tide began to roar in Crawford's favor.
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great to me.
Another analyst called it nothing less than a masterclass in ring IQ. He marveled at how Crawford seemed to know each punch before Canelo even twitched a shoulder. This wasn't reaction, it was premonition, the product of endless study and razor-sharp preparation. While most fighters freeze under the weight of Canelo's heavy combinations, Crawford dismantled them with icy precision. Every defensive slip flowed into a crisp counter, each movement calculated yet effortless. No brute force, just pure strategy and discipline. This wasn't luck, it was years of meticulous planning displayed in real time. And with every round, Crawford's genius tightened the vice.
Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. But I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault. His resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. It's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights, but a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. You know, even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. You know, I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, you know, Gamboa, you know, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get a finish?
Veteran reporter Dan Raphael highlighted the pre-fight disbelief that now feels almost laughable. Fans and pundits mocked the idea that Crawford could topple the mighty Canelo. But Crawford never bought into their doubts. He viewed them as equals: size, power, everything. That unshakable self-belief became his hidden weapon. While the world questioned, he prepared to shock it. Raphael reminded everyone, the line between triumph and failure is often just the courage to believe. And Crawford's confidence would soon silence every skeptic.
Where do you sit with this? Because two pound-for-pound greats of this era, Canelo, we see the resume, Crawford, you know, two-time undisputed, potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, you know, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. You know, we've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford look a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, really just we're going to see tomorrow, you know, how it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. You know, I feel like it's even playing fields, and, you know, both guys coming ready. So we're just going to have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is the greatest. But does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well, because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, of course, nobody will ever. I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time.
Finally, trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre spoke with a pride only years in the trenches can forge. To him, Crawford's greatness was never in doubt. This victory merely announced it to the world. Bomac insisted retirement isn't on the horizon. First comes rest, then the next mountain. His words carried the weight of countless sparring rounds, early mornings, and sacrifices only they truly know. For Bomac, this wasn't just a win, it was vindication, a lifetime of hard work crystallized in one unforgettable night.
You know what? We're going to get back in the gym. We're going to get back in the gym, and we're going to assess that. And, you know, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for like probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
And what for you?
Yeah.
Damn. And for you? Hey, this is the thing.
Appreciate you.
What you saying about training a half a year?
We trained almost a half a year for that fight. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so sharp. You know, everybody.
And that wraps today's breakdown. But this story is far from over. The question now, who dares to face Terence "Bud" Crawford next?